Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the first of many, the premiere episode of That Movie Show here on North Shore 1049. Let me introduce myself, Mike Wendt, Liam Stryker with us, super producer Bill Neville behind the board.
Hey, everybody.
And we are your go-to source for all things movies here on North Shore 1049.
It's great to be here.
It is.
It's super early.
It's 9 a.m. And I can't wait because, okay, so right off the bat, until we get our own big professional radio intro, we're using a song that's very near and dear to your heart.
Yeah, that is from the now defunct great movie ride at Walt Disney World's Hollywood Studios in Orlando, Florida.
It's such a sad day, wasn't it?
Yeah. You know what? The cool thing is that a couple years ago, before it closed, I got to ride that ride on my birthday.
Aww.
And so that was the last time I got to ride that ride, and so it was pretty sweet.
Well, that was very cool.
Yeah.
So on that ride, which way did it go? Cowboy or mob?
It's funny because it was cowboy, and Bill had never seen the
first
cowboy.
time I'd ever seen
Oh,
that.
that's so cool.
Every other time it was the chase.
The mob. Yeah.
The mob, yeah.
The mafia guy.
Yeah. So
that was the first time.
So I didn't know it was any different. I didn't know there was two different scenes. Yeah.
So I got to experience that with Bill, and that was really fun.
Like this ride is
magic.
closing, and they added a new scene? Like, what's going on here?
The magic of Disney.
Yeah.
Aw. Well, we are covering a number of topics today on That Movie Show here on North Shore 1049. And I think right off the bat, big topic is the Oscars.
Yeah.
They recently announced that they're going hostless.
Right. That is a great call. It's not my call.
I was going to go with Muppets.
Muppets is the right call.
It's the right call.
That would have been the most. We don't have that type of fun with the Oscars, but if we had that type of fun with the Oscars, the Muppets would have been a great choice because a bunch of hosts have since dropped out.
Right.
Because of the
Hosts or presenters?
Hosts mostly.
Hosts.
Because they keep finding things. Kevin Hart most notably.
Well, that's not dropping out. That's being pushed out the door.
Pushed out the door. So
pushed out the door.
There were a lot of hosts that through various circumstances, right, wrong, or indifferent, have been pushed out and tried to be replaced. And so they ended up not having one for the longest time. And the Oscars are coming up.
I voted for Hollywood icon Mel Gibson, but nobody seemed to want that one.
No, not at all. Not at all. Yeah, the Academy was not happy about that.
My problem, okay, here's my issue with the Oscars in general.
Right.
Awards, especially movie awards,
right,
are meant for people that love film.
Correct.
Okay? The general public isn't watching these award shows. You know, every year you see, it happened with the Golden Globes, every year you see ratings all-time low. And they just keep going down year after year.
Right.
And it's because, first of all, it's because they haven't figured out how to do a rating system with streaming, and everybody's streaming now, including myself. Right. But I still watch the award shows because I love movies.
Well, there's also the thing to think about, too, is that these award show events just insist upon themselves, and they get bigger and bigger and bigger because...
Well, I'm okay with that. I mean, the changes they're making... I feel, and I always keep reading this, they're trying to streamline it. They're trying to shorten it. It's not about that. I look at it very much because we're all wrestling fans here on the show.
Right.
And the WWE Hall of Fame show is 97 hours long.
Oh, of course.
And it is because it is. It's there for the rest, for the people that want to watch it. It's there for them live.
Right.
Okay. Realistically, it's what, about 4 hours, 5 hours, something like that. Some of the guys getting the award go on for 45, 50 minutes.
Right.
So I've always felt that they're similar. The Oscars, WWE Hall of Fame. It's there for the people that truly love this product.
Right.
The product in this case being film.
Right.
I'm going to sit there. I don't care if the Oscars are 97 hours long. I'm going to sit there and enjoy every part of it.
Oh, absolutely. And the problem is for the average non-movie fan is that they save the best awards for last, right?
Yeah.
You have the best female, best actress, best actor, best picture.
Yes.
Are all the last things in the
They've been
night.
shifting them. The best picture definitely comes last.
But best picture definitely comes last, right? That's the big award. That's the big movie win. And nobody cares about the costume designer, right? And
well, I mean, I did when Mad Max won.
Yeah, yes.
There was a whole section that year where the people from Mad Max kept having to come because they were sitting in the back of the theater.
Yeah, right.
All the technical people, the costume, the makeup,
Everybody.
the special effects, they're all in the way back nosebleed section of the theater.
And they're getting called in.
And they were awesome. They were all dressed like bikers.
Yeah.
It was the coolest thing when Mad Max kept winning.
It was very cool.
Because that's one of my movies.
Right. But you look at it and that person gets up there, and the reason why these things get so long is because that person just won the most important award that they can win.
Correct.
Right? And so
This
while
is like the pinnacle of their career.
Right. And so now while the regular movie-going audience doesn't care or understand that this costume designer just won the same thing that the producer at the end of the film wins for Best Picture.
Correct.
This person gets up there and is spilling their guts. And not having a host.
As they should.
Right.
As they should.
And not having a host is going to streamline this so that I don't care.
Is it?
Well, I do think so.
Okay.
Because I don't need to hear tight five from Kevin Hart at the top of the show. What I want to hear is from the costume designer who just won the most important award of their life.
I want both.
Right. You're right.
I want my cake and eat it too.
Right. But I understand that we need to have
it is a telecast.
We're doing a telecast because I also think that I want to see the technical awards because I do care about the best grip and gaffer. Right?
Yeah.
And that poor guy, he ends up getting just that 5-second thing where it's like, and these people won Oscars last night.
Before the award's even in the hand, the music is playing.
Right.
You know,
and it's
get
like,
off. Get off.
And it's like, I don't care about the musical number from the 5 songs that are nominated for best.
Did I hear they're doing away with that?
I hope
the live
so.
musical performance. Because here's the problem I've always had. The people that actually did the song usually aren't the ones performing at the show. So what does it matter?
Right, exactly.
What does it matter?
Oh, it doesn't matter.
Unless you're going to get... Now, granted, there was only one occasion where I've been like, great choice. And it was when South Park, Bigger, Longer, and Uncut was nominated for Best Song, which was Blame Canada, and Robin Williams performed
That was so amazing.
I mean, if you couldn't get Matt and Trey, who were sitting in the audience on acid, to perform it...
In dresses.
Robin Williams, great substitution.
I think they also didn't perform the songs at that point, and that was just a bit in the show.
Just a bit. It was nominated.
No, it was nominated.
Definitely nominated.
It was definitely nominated.
That's why they were there.
But I'm pretty sure they didn't have South Park, Bigger, Longer, and Uncut, the Blame Canada song, and then the song from whatever movie.
I'm pretty sure they did.
Because I want to say it was only a couple years ago.
I mean, it was probably shadowed by that.
Right. Yeah, probably.
But I mean, the streamlining of it, and this is why I feel, going back to the WWE analogy, I feel they've done what they've done with the Hall of Fame right, where live, it's a stream.
Right.
So I feel the Oscars should adopt that.
Right.
You do the show live, okay, online.
Yeah.
ABC, and who's owned by Disney, has plenty of streaming outlets. They're going to have their own this
That's
year.
what I was going to say.
Okay. Do it live for as long as it takes to get everybody's thing in. I'll sit there for 6 hours and watch it.
Right.
And then you do an edited for TV version that airs the next night, much like WWE does with their Hall of Fame. They run it a couple nights later on USA, and it's a 90-minute version of a 4-hour show.
Right. Absolutely. I'm 100%
I've just
on board.
fixed the problem. You're welcome.
You're welcome. You're welcome, the Academy.
Disney, I'll accept my check later.
The one that I want to watch so bad, and I don't know where to find it, is the award show that takes place the night before. The Razzie Awards.
Oh, okay. They have to be showing it somewhere.
I don't know. I've never been able to find a stream for it. For those of you who have no idea what I'm talking about, the Razzie Awards is the anti-Oscars. It's
the opposite.
Instead of Best Actor, it's Worst Actor.
Correct.
Instead of Best Picture, it's Worst Picture.
It's the place where movies like Battlefield Earth and Showgirls win all the awards.
Right.
I'm not joking.
Oddly enough, John Travolta nominated for Worst Actor for Gotti.
Oh, that was a terrible movie. Have you seen it?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
All right, it's on Amazon Prime.
Yep.
I suggest you watch it not because it's a good movie.
Well, you've already told me about this movie enough.
So bad. And I'm so disappointed because the trailer looked awesome. And I was like, this is great. I'm really excited for it. Then I saw brought to you by MoviePass. I'm like,
oh no.
And it was so cheap. Okay, so here's how cheap Gotti was. And we weren't going to do a Gotti thing, but we got a minute or two, so I'll do a Gotti thing. So it was obviously the story of John Gotti, starring John Travolta as John Gotti. The problem being they spliced in actual news footage of John Gotti, not as a cool little thing like like they did in Black Mass. They did that. What they used it for was a substitution of actually filming scenes.
Yeah, which is nuts.
So it was a little confusing because while everybody knows, okay, John Travolta's John Gotti, here's John Gotti, we get that much. It was the supporting characters when they were cutting in news footage of them that I was completely lost on. Like at the end when his son starts going to jail and they start showing news footage of his son, the actor doesn't look anything like his son.
No.
So I'm like, who is this person I'm watching come out of the courtroom? I'm guessing it's supposed to be. I don't really. I literally had to Google his son to figure out who the heck I was looking at.
Yeah.
That's how cheap the movie was.
That's crazy.
Which, by evident by MoviePass's, past history.
It's
expected.
It's also so depressing. And for those of you who are listening for the first time and have no idea what MoviePass is, MoviePass was a subscription-based service, much like Netflix or Hulu or any one of those, except it was for a movie theater. So
Correct. It's any movie theater, basically.
Any movie theater. So what would happen was you would sign up for a MoviePass.
Yep.
They would send you a MoviePass debit or credit card that you would then use an app, and they would send you money so that you could purchase the tickets.
Mm-hmm.
And it was $10 a month, and you could see as many movies as you wanted.
Right.
Well, basically, that price point was
shockingly
too good.
That didn't work.
Yeah. Well, I think it was far more. It was far more well received than I think initially expected.
It was literally. It was basically. It sounds too good to be true.
Right.
And eventually,
it
became too good to be true. Now all the theater chains, AMC, Showcase, they all have their own version of this now.
So now I have the AMC A-list currently, and that's the same thing. So they have like a rewards member card.
I believe Showcases is called Stubs or something along those lines.
That's the AMC Stubs.
Oh, okay.
So basically...
Showcase has one too.
Yeah, Showcase does have one as well. I forget what the name of that one is, but you pay the theater, and you can only go to that theater. So if you have this the Showcase version, then you can only go to Showcase Cinemas.
Fine.
And if you have the AMC one, you can only go to AMC.
There you go.
But you pay them a monthly subscription, and there are some caveats, right? Because it's so many movies a week.
Sure.
Right? And it's so many movies a week, but basically that's the only rule. Yeah. No special events. So I know through AMC you can't do like the Fathom events.
That's a bummer.
But it's also run by a different company. So that makes sense. But it's like,
But they were the ones that made Gotti.
Right.
It's a long way to go around that this failed company made Gotti, which is why they didn't have enough money to actually shoot the entire film. So let's just use news footage.
Right.
In place of scenes. Not like cool cut-ins, actual full scenes of the movie, like coming out of court. Hey, we don't need to shoot that. We'll just use news footage.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Not to mention, it just wasn't a good movie.
No.
I mean, at the end of the day, the cheapness of it wasn't why it failed.
Right.
It just wasn't a
good movie.
Something that is going to be a good movie I'd like to talk about. Avengers Endgame.
Yes.
That is going, in my opinion, that's going to be the biggest movie of the year.
Right, it has to be. It's obvious. It's already one of the most anticipated movies of all time.
And it's coming out in April.
Yep.
And the news story I heard this week is rumors have it that Marvel is considering an intermission for Avengers Endgame because it's currently clocking in at over 3 hours. I love this.
I absolutely love that.
I love it.
Don't cut out,
put an ovation at the beginning too. I do the whole
right.
I mean, Tarantino did it with Hateful Eight, and it was so much fun.
I would rather you tell me the story.
Yep.
Like if the story's good, tell me the story, and I don't care how long it is.
And if we need a 15-minute bathroom break in the middle, I am cool with it. I think more movies should. I think this should be a commonplace now, because a lot of movies are clocking in over 2.5 hours, and it's something that the longer the movies get, the harder it is for people to make that commitment to go to the theater, especially because some people have small bladders.
Right, exactly.
It's a fact of life.
Exactly.
And you get a movie like, these Avengers, which clock in long, which not a bad thing.
No.
I've sat through all 2 hours and 49 minutes of Infinity War probably 7 times now.
Right. If the movie is good, people will watch, and it doesn't matter how long it is.
And also, an intermission in a movie like this could be fun.
Yes, exactly.
You get that 15 minutes to breathe and be like, oh my God, did you see that? Did you see this?
Right.
What's going to happen? You chat for a few minutes.
Right.
You know, imagine all the tweets
right
in the middle of the show.
Right.
This is happening. This is happening. You got to see this. Go run to the theater.
Right, exactly.
I think it's a great move.
The other thing too is how many movies have we seen over the past few years where the movie in theaters is the theatrical release of the movie is cut down because the movie needs to be 90 minutes. Right. And it's like, we need to have this movie be 90 minutes. So they hack the movie to pieces. It's not well received. Then we see a director's cut or an unrated
Some would say
cut.
it's Zack Snyder's biggest problem.
It's Zack Snyder's biggest problem. But we see a director's cut.
I disagree, but
we see an unrated cut that clocks in closer to 2 hours, maybe a little over. And it's like, oh my God, this movie was awesome.
I get it now.
Oh, that scene makes sense. And this character moment makes sense. And that makes sense. And it's just like...
Yes, we're talking about Batman v Superman.
Yes, we are talking about Batman v Superman. But there are countless examples of it.
Right.
And if the movie's going to take as long as it takes to tell the story, don't put it in a box.
Sure.
You know? And I hope they don't mess with it. I hope they don't.
I'm very excited if there's an intermission. I think it's a great idea. Yeah. I think because it's also a movie that, like you said, it's the most anticipated movie of possibly all time.
Right.
People are going to want to go. It's going to make billions of dollars its first week out.
First couple days.
Why not have people at least be comfortable?
Right, exactly.
You know what I mean? And not have people trying to be like, oh, can I run to the bathroom now because I just had that supersized Coke?
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
It is what it is. You want people to buy soda and water at the theater.
Right.
Give them a spot in the middle to take a break.
Absolutely.
A couple rapid fire things.
Okay.
All right. So Halloween 2 has signed on their new writer, Scott Teems.
Yeah.
He's going to write for Blumhouse's sequel to the 2018 Halloween movie. Did you see it?
I did see it, and that is very interesting.
What'd you think about Halloween?
I thought it was good. I thought it was very interesting because obviously I wasn't a super big fan. If you follow along on the podcast version of that movie show,
which you can find at newageinsiders.com.
Yep. We talked about the entirety of the series leading up to that movie, and
it was a fun time watching 12 movies in a week,
something like that. And so they lopped off 2 through Resurrection or whatever, all of them. And so was this, and I wasn't a big fan of that.
They didn't even count 2 as part of the sequel.
They didn't even count 2, and so it was weird. I liked the character development from it, but I don't know where to go from here.
Okay,
you know what I mean? Like I don't know what's left to tell with the story of Michael Myers because
he can never die.
Right.
So there's plenty to tell.
So are we going to go back to the ritualistic?
Let's do it. I'm all in. I'm all in. Blumhouse and Kenny Powers running Halloween. I love it.
Oh, weird.
Apparently, the 5th Mad Max movie is also going into production.
If it is a continuation of Fury Road, I am 1,000% on board.
That's what it sounds like.
That was my best picture pick for that year. I absolutely loved it.
It came out of news that World War Z 2 is not happening.
Good.
So World War Z 2 is officially dead and not happening. However, this was a tweet from at Eric Davis, and apparently he's hearing whispers of another sequel that's beginning to rev its engines.
Okay.
And it's a picture of Mad Max Fury Road.
Yeah.
So I'm all in on a 5th Mad Max.
I am very all in on a Mad Max. World War Z, the book was very fun, but the book is told through a series of articles, right? It's as if
I wasn't a huge fan of the movie.
It
seemed like a mess.
I wasn't either, and it's because it's a mess, because they took moments that were just basically, when you look at the book was as if somebody took all of the information from news articles as to what was happening and then put them in a book. So you get bits and pieces of the story, but it's not about a particular person.
Okay.
It's more about...
It looked like it was about Brad Pitt.
Well, that's what the movie was. But the book is more about the planet and what happened in this event than the movie, which is like about Brad Pitt trying to find a cure.
Okay.
And like the zombie waves.
The zombie waves.
Yeah, that's
fair enough, Liam. Fair enough. Also announced this week, Chris Pratt did an interview, and he revealed that Disney is in fact going to use, as he said, James Gunn's off-the-chain Guardians of the Galaxy 3 script.
Well,
Still doesn't have a director.
Right. They're going to circle back around and hire James Gunn.
You think so?
I do think so, because everybody that asked if they want to do it, they go, no, you should hire James Gunn.
Right.
For those of you that don't know, James Gunn, basically a bunch of tweets surfaced from long, long ago.
10, 15-year-old tweets.
While he was working with the film studio Troma.
Love him.
And if you know anything about Troma, they are very Troma-esque tweets, right? This was stuff that...
They were a shock studio for shock's sake.
Right.
And these were shock tweets that were shock jokes.
Yeah, the movie studio they were the films... Did they
Toxic
make...
Avenger.
The Toxic Avenger.
That one everybody knows.
Right, so it's the Toxic Avenger and things of that ilk.
Right.
They're gross for being gross's sake.
Right.
They're shock for shock's sake.
Right.
And...
Now, these things, as I said, came out 10, 15 years ago.
And so they surfaced originally when James Gunn was hired for the original Guardians of the Galaxy. They talked about it. They went through. Disney knew about them beforehand.
We're all cool.
And we were all good. And so now...
And we got 2 great movies out of it.
We got 2 great movies out of it. He basically took the same direction, like inspired the same direction for the third Thor film.
Ragnarok.
It
would have been easier to say Ragnarok.
Yeah, it would have been easier to just do that, but whatever.
Whatever.
So his thumbprint on the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I'm on NewAgeInsiders.com rewatching and re-reviewing all of the
very cool
Marvel movies.
Cinematic Universe.
So the entire Cinematic Universe leading up to Captain Marvel that drops March 5th.
Yep.
So go and check those out. But as I'm doing that, I'm finding that there's a very serious tone to these Marvel films. And
until he shows up.
Until Guardians of the Galaxy happens, and we find out how much fun and personality can influence these characters, because even Robert Downey Jr., who everybody is remembered as the snarky, sassy guy,
it still takes a dark tone.
He's very serious
He's
in his
brooding
movies.
at times.
Yeah, and he gets a lot more fun in the later movies, in the Phase 2 movies.
Right.
And it's James Gunn's influence. And here's the thing, guys. He's linked to the next Suicide Squad.
I was just going to bring that up. He's going to write and possibly direct Suicide Squad 2.
So if Warner Brothers
Which sounds like a soft reboot, not even a sequel.
No. But if Warner Brothers is okay with him, you should stop that from happening and bring him back to Guardians.
The bottom line was, it felt like Disney was between a rock and a hard place, because like the week before they had just fired Roseanne for her tweets, and then people it was a politically charged thing.
Yeah,
they brought up the James Gunn thing. Disney was like, ugh.
Yeah, but Roseanne was in real time though.
I understand that, but when you're Disney,
no, I get it.
It's one of those. It's a bummer. I agree. They should just circle back. The whole cast has come out. Everyone's like, just do it.
Yeah, Dave Bautista says he doesn't want to do it.
He's going to have to. Sorry, Dave. I understand you're a big wrestler, but it is what it is. You signed a contract.
Yeah.
A little bit of local movie news as we're going to throw it in there. The Hallmark Channel is filming a Christmas movie in Market Square in Newburyport.
Yeah, 'tis the season.
Apparently, they took down the actual town's Christmas tree, and they're going to erect a new one for, I believe it's going to be called A Ring for Christmas.
Wow.
That's fun.
Tell my mom about that.
Right?
It's always a fun thing when Christmas movies are getting filmed.
Yeah.
Because
it turns the city into Christmas.
Right. It turns the city in like April, May.
Daddy's Home 2 did it.
Exactly. Daddy's Home 2 did it. Paul Blart Mall Cop changed.
I was in that one.
Yeah. I was in that one too, but I was replacing a person that you could have seen. I'm listening to the first AD and the director talk because they're like placing the actors in this bank.
I think the movies that you and I have done, completely different show.
Yeah.
We're going to have to do a full show on running those down.
But
because we are almost out of time here on that movie show here on North Shore 1049. I just want to throw out my recommendation for movies opening this weekend to go see. I would say Fighting with My Family. I think we can. It's the one based on Paige WWE.
I think
it's opening literally this weekend.
Yeah, the movie. It
looks fun.
I'm very disappointed because it feels like the marketing is leaning so heavily on The Rock.
I understand
and
that.
The Rock, and obviously because he's The Rock and he's one of the biggest movie stars in the world, and he's the executive producer of this film. It's really
so. I think you would say go see Lego Movie 2.
Go see Lego Movie 2. Because I don't think The Rock's going to be in it.
Not as Lego Movie 2?
No, The Rock's not going to be in Lego
He's not
Movie
going to be in Lego Movie 2. Yeah, also opened last week was Taraji P. Henson and Tracy Morgan's What Men Want. Have you ever seen the Mel Gibson What Women Want?
No.
Okay, it doesn't age well, first of all.
Yeah, of course it doesn't.
And even then, when it came out, it was awkward AF, as the kids say.
Yeah, that's...
and this looks equally as awkward AF.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's literally the story of now a woman who can hear men's thoughts.
Yeah.
And how she uses that to better her chances with men. I don't know. I didn't watch the movie. But basically Mel Gibson's was, I'm going to listen to all what women think.
Yeah.
And it's going to make me, because he was in an ad agency.
I'm a misogynist.
Exactly. It was
weird.
It was the Mel Gibson story. But yeah, so I think Lego Movie, I'm going to go see Fighting with My Family.
Yeah, I'm gonna see Lego Movie,
and I think we got a good time going right there. So thank you all for joining us.
Yeah.
On That Movie Show here on North Shore 104.9. I am Mike Wendt, Liam Stryker, Bill Neville. Thank you for producing.
You guys are great.
You can follow all of us on social media at Mike Wendt, at Liam NAI, at Bill Neville NAI. Hashtag That Movie Show, because we do follow along on Twitter and we do take recommendations to review movies,
which you can find on New Age Insiders Pop. That is where That Movie Show actually reviews films.
Full on reviews. Yes, we take a movie every single week and review it for you. We are available on all podcasting
all
apps.
Of them.
So just search it up. That Movie Show, New Age Insiders Pop, and you can find all of our audio and video archives at newageinsiders.com. Until next week, we'll see you at the movies.
Bye, everybody.